Okay, so today I want to talk about finding the bottleneck in your farm. And specifically, we'll be talking about conversion rates and conversions of online marketing. And we'll run through some examples and some numbers. But really, the goal here is to show you, really illustrate, what is the constraint? What is stifling the growth in your farm, particularly when we look at doing sales online, marketing your farm online, direct consumer. So the way that it starts is always starts with traffic, right? So we have to have eyeballs coming in. If you look at a classic marketing funnel, everything starts at the top. We have the most people at the top, or it starts with traffic, visitors, and it trickles down to less and less people. And eventually you get down to buyers, right? And so as these people trickle down this funnel, there's less and less people, but eventually you'll have some buyers. So we'll run a few examples here and we'll talk about, kind of key elements, metrics you can shoot for. Um, and so you can identify what's working, what's not working, and try to fix it. So when you start with traffic, there's basically five ways of getting traffic, but four that are online. So the first is social media. So we're all familiar with Facebook, Instagram. You can get traffic, people, eyeballs. When I say traffic, I mean eyeballs, people, visitors to your website, to your landing page, wherever you want to send them, right? But if you want to send somebody somewhere, first they have to know about it, right? So social media is like our digital billboard, right? We can post about what we're doing, what we have, what's for sale. Um, you always want to include a CTA. And if you don't know what CTA is, a call to action. So you always have a call to action. You don't have to do it on every post, but on any post, if you want them to visit a landing page or visit a website, you have a call to action at the bottom. It says, hey, click here to visit our website, click here to visit our products, click here to sign up for our email list, right? Those are examples of a CTA or call to action. When you're doing social media, you can do posts, you can do stories, you can do reels on Instagram, Facebook. Those are the two primary social media channels you need to use, Instagram and Facebook. That's when you find most of your customers for farming. Um, if you put a post or a link in your post or in your reel, it's not clickable. People have to actually type it in. But if you put it in your story, you can add a clickable link so people can actually tap it in the phone and just takes them right to it. So that's probably the best way to get somebody to click your link and go to your webpage is either through story or through clicking the link in your profile. You can ask them to do that too. The second way to get traffic is ads. So you can use paid ads. You can use paid Facebook ads, paid Google ads, paid search. Ads are tricky. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on ads, but we have found some things that work really, really well. But they're a great way to get visitors, but if you're not doing it right, it can be very expensive and costly. The third way to get traffic, to get visitors, get eyeballs to your website would be doing partnerships, partnering with other farms, other businesses, local farms, and coming with creative ways that are mutually beneficial to get them to promote you, to get them to advertise your webpage or your offer or your products. And finally, you can use Google search. So Google search would be like your SEO listings. If you have a Google My Business or Google Business page is what it is now, people can just Google you, farms near me, and your farm will pop up there. And then lastly is word of mouth. It's not digital, but I included kind of the five ways of getting traffic is word of mouth referral. Your current or people who know you, current customers or previous customers or people that know you will tell other people about you, right? Most farms rely strictly on word of mouth and referral. And as you can see, you're missing, 80% of traffic if you're only relying on word of mouth and referral, because there's four other great ways to get traffic. A lot of us are also doing social media, but we may not be doing social media correctly and probably not getting a lot of traffic. That leaves the last three. So how can you do this? Well, if you get a Google business page, that'll be a big step in the right direction. If you can partner with other farms, and I've done another video, which I'll link, about how to do partnerships with other farms and do giveaways and things like that. That's a great way to get traffic. And then, of course, there's paid ads. We actually do set all these different types of traffic up for you with our system, but that's beyond the scope of this presentation. So once you get traffic, let's say you have 10,000 people. Let's say you have 10,000 followers on Instagram, right? That's a lot of followers. It's a decent amount. Usually if you make a post or a story or a reel, only 5 to 10% of those followers are actually going to see it. So that's all that it gets shown to. So this is why they say you got to compose consistently and regularly, so more and more people see your posts, because only 5 to 10% will see any given post. So that means, maybe, 1,500 to 1,000 people actually see your post. And a percentage of these people that see your post or your ad, if you're running ads, will actually click it, right? And that percentage, could be anywhere from 1% to maybe 10 or 20%, just depending on what it is, right? And so let's just say, for example, this is 500 people for this example. And so they'll actually click your link. Now, your link is your call to action, and it should be a sign up link. So we set up social media, the ads, the partners, the Google page for you. So this would be an example of a call to action. So if I made a post on Instagram, said, hey, we set up all your social media, your ads, your partners, and Google business page for you to drive traffic to your website. Click here to learn more, or click this link. And I put this link in here, and it's highlighted in blue, which means it's a clickable link. They could click the link and it takes them right to that page, right? And this is just a training about how to 7X your farm. But I could, if I wrote that link in a Facebook or Instagram post, this link here, it wouldn't show up, or it wouldn't be clickable, I should say. So you need to have that link in your bio or link it in your story. So that's an example of a call to action. Click here to learn more, right? And like I mentioned, you can only do this with stories. So here's an example. Reel or post doesn't have a clickable link. So in your story, you can write, here's an example of a story that I did. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Get my free farm marketing quick start course with a link down here. And so the way you do this is you write your message, put up whatever you want, your picture, whatever you want to put in your story, or Instagram or Facebook story. And then there's a button at the top that says the link. You click that button, that sticker, and you can type in your custom link there for people to click. Okay. So that's the first thing is you want to make sure you have a clickable link. If it's not clickable, if you're not doing a story or your profile, it's not doing you a lot of good. So what happens next? After you get your link, the next thing you want to think about is, where are we sending them? Okay. If you're sending them somewhere to buy something, you're sending them directly to your product page, directly to your shop, people probably aren't going to buy. This has a 0.5 to 1% conversion. So using our example, if we had 500 people click our link, that means approximately 3 people might buy, just depending on the product, the price, etc. They'll probably buy one time. They probably won't buy again. They probably aren't going to subscribe to your email list, and a lot of times an impulse buy, especially if it's a relatively inexpensive purchase, right? And so that means that's a lot of wasted time and effort. Your conversion rate is going to go up if it's a cheaper product. So if you're selling a $20 chicken, your conversion rate is going to be much higher than if you're selling a $1,500 half share of beef, right? So you might get 10 people convert and half share of beef gets 0. But just because you have a higher conversion rate doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be lifelong customers. They don't really know what you do. Maybe they just saw it and like, hey, yeah, I'll buy it. And it's kind of impulse buy. They don't go on your list. So what can we do instead? Well, if instead of asking them to buy or sending them directly to our shop, what if we just asked them for an email? Email has about a 40% conversion. So instead of a 0.5 to 1% conversion, we're getting about a 40% conversion on email. So we want to send them directly to a sign-up form. And in this case, if we had 500 people click our link and we sent them to a sign-up form for our email list, about 200 people would sign up. So a lot more people would sign up. And here's an example of a subscribe form. So this is a subscribe form that we use. It says subscribe to our newsletter, get $10 off your first purchase in our online store. They put their name, first name, last name, email, phone number, and get their coupon. Once they do this, it automatically sends them an email with the coupon link in it. So we have that automation automatically set up, which we use our proprietary software here. This software, which is our Regenerative Success 10X farm marketing software, to set up all the automations, the emails, the landing pages, the websites. So we get somebody to sign up for our email list. We get about 200 people. So that should be your goal. Your KPI is about 40%. If you're getting less than 40%, you need to see something about is wrong with your sign up form. Either you're not getting them an incentive. An incentive can be anything. It can be a discount, it could be a coupon, it could be a recipe. It could just say, hey, sign up for our newsletter and get updates on our next farm event, whatever it could be. But if you're not getting a good 40% conversion, then you need to refine your incentive, refine your link. Okay. Next thing is once they sign up, they should be delivered a welcome series of emails. So this is typically, a minimum of 4 emails, sometimes as much as 8 emails that talks about what you do, why you do it, what makes your product different, and why they should care. What's the benefit for the customer, right? When you start sending them those emails on a regular cadence, so we usually send an email every 2 to 3 days for that welcome series, usually every other day, and then we taper off. We send an email like once a week. But for the first week or two, we send one like every other day so we can kind of get them warmed up to what we do. People are much more inclined to buy. They're much more inclined to become a raving fan of your farm. They know what you do, why you do it, why your product's different, what the health benefits of it. They're much more inclined to purchase and become a raving fan of yours. Here's an example of a welcome series that we set up for farmers in the 10X Farm Marketing app. So this is just kind of an example of a workflow. So the customer comes in, they get an email, then they wait to see if the email is opened. If not, they get a different email. Then they get another email, and then wait a couple days, and they send the next email. Wait 3 days, and the next email. So this is just kind of an example of a workflow. We have all those email templates already pre-written. And so welcome email is important. Email is the number one way you're going to get customers. You're going to turn a visitor or a subscriber into a customer. And I'm a big proponent of harping on email deliverability, and we do a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure our emails land in the inbox. So let's talk about open rate. That kind of brings us to email. When you're looking at your emails, so we've got 200 new people on our list. Okay, going with this example. Your open rate is going to be anywhere from 30 to maybe 50, 60%. So out of the emails you send, the people that are active on your list, 30 to 50% of them should open that email. And you should be able to see those statistics. So like if I go to, let me give you a real life example. Marketing, and this is the 10X Farm Marketing app here. If you want to get to this or see what this is all about, go to go.regenerativesuccess.net/app, APP. That'll bring you here. But if I go to my email campaigns, I can see all my statistics here. And so this will show me, kind of the numbers of emails that were sent, my average open rate over that time, click rate, all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. But your open rate should be 30 to 50%. You'll see that this one's a little bit lower, it's around 28. A lot of that is going to depend on number one, the size of your email list. So the larger number of people you have on your email list, the lower your open rate is going to be, right? Because you've been building that list over time, and some people are just going to fall off. They're still on your email list, but they're not opening them, right? And it's harder to reach everyone and have everyone excited about what you're doing when you have such a big, broad list, right? We've got 5,000 plus people on our email list, so we average around 30 to 40% typically. If you have a smaller email list, you'll probably get much higher, maybe get 50, 60, 70% open rates. So just going by, let's say in this example, we added 200 people to our email list out of 10,000 original followers. That means 80 people open our email if we're in that 30 to 50% range. If we send 16 emails per year, which is not a lot, but 16 emails advertising our product, that's 1,280 opens, right? If your open rate is low, if it's lower than 30, 35%, then you need to improve your subject line. That's what's going on. So a good subject line in your email is something that provokes curiosity, or something that makes the customer excited to open it, right? So here's an example of a subject line we did: orange glazed duck legs and turkeys. And so that was a subject line I used for one of our farm emails. It got a 45% open rate, which is pretty decent. And so I guess people were like, "Oh, orange glazed duck legs and turkeys. That sounds awesome." And we had a recipe in there about how to prepare that, as well as talking about other things on the farm. Click-through rate in your email, your objectives gonna be 1 to 3%. Sometimes it can be much lower, just depending on what you're writing in the email. Sometimes it could be a little bit higher, but that's kind of industry average. So looking at our example, if you send 16 promotional emails per year talking about your farm products, that's 32 visitors. With a 1 to 3% click-through rate, that's 32 visitors to your website. Okay. Here's an example of stats from one of my emails. So, this is at a 2.5% click-through rate. So that was really good. But sometimes as low as like 0.2%, just depending on, what the email is about, what I wrote. So once you've got that, if your click-through rate is low, ways to improve that are improve the copy. So what you're actually writing, and improve. So, making it engaging and making it sure it's something that people want to hear, making it curious and providing great value in that email, and also improve your call to action. So instead of saying, "Hey, buy here," that's going to get a lower click through rate than "learn more," for example. So once you look at our open rate and our click through rates, the next thing is really looking at having an outstanding offer. Okay, so if we want somebody to go to our page and buy from us, we should make it irresistible. And there's several things we can do to make something more irresistible and really get them to sign up and buy. And one thing is having a limited time offer. So hey, we got buy one get one free wings this week only, ends on Friday, making it a limited time. Or adding in bonuses. If you sign up today, you get this compilation of recipes, or my video series on how to part out a chicken, for example. Providing urgency, so making sure it's urgent, and that's also limited time. Approximately 10% of your email list is going to buy from you at some point. In general, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, but in general, over the course of a year, about 10% of your email list should become a customer at some point. So what does this mean? And this is for farms typically. So here's an example of bonuses that we would give. So this would be like bonuses we give if you sign up for the farm marketing app, the 10x farm marketing app. Get all these things for free if you sign up now. And so that's going to increase the urgency for people to get them to sign up. A little more information about the CTA. So the call to action, you want to send folks, you have several different options, right? You can send them to a website, you can send them to a shop, or you can send them to a landing page. Now, I'll let you guess, which one do you think of these is better? There is one that goes head over heels of all the others, and it is a landing page. A website or just a generic link, say, hey, check out our website or check out our shop. Like I said before, it converts around 0.5 to 1% of visitors to that page. So most of those people are going to look at it. They're going to see so many options. They're going to see so many different links. Here's our website. You see all these different links at the top. They get confused. They don't know where to go, or it's not pointing them in one direction. And there's a saying, if you confuse, you lose. So if you confuse the customer, you lose the customer, and they're just going to leave. That's why the conversion rate's so low. However, and this is a good conversion rate, by the way, 0.5 to 1%. If you know what you're doing, you have a really good, really optimized website. A lot of people are far less than that. On the flip side, a landing page often converts at 10%. So what is a landing page? Well, let's talk about that. A landing page is a page that has one purpose. It's one product for one customer for one purpose. And it tells that customer, the customer has basically one of two choices. They can buy or not buy. There's no links, there's no distractions. It's all about that one thing. And so this makes it very streamlined, very specific to what that customer wants. So I'll repeat that. A landing page is one product for one type of customer for one purpose only. No distractions. So here is an example of our 10x farm marketing landing page. Right, it looks like this. Let me pull it up real quick. So go.regenerativesuccess.net/app will get you here. This is about 10x farm marketing app. So this is all about the app. what it can do, the plans, how to purchase, how you can use this to your benefit, frequently asked questions, the bonuses, testimonials, people have had success with it, and then it's just two options: select the plan or don't. We don't give a lot of. There's no other outside links, and that really helps drive conversions and make it more successful. Finally, once you've got your landing page set up, you're getting conversions, you want to get recurring revenue. So it's so much better to get recurring sales. Every company out there that is selling online, the majority of their budget goes to acquiring a customer. That is the most expensive part of marketing, is acquiring that customer. But if you can resell a product to that same customer, your cost goes way, way, way down. Your cost of acquiring that customer goes way, way down. It's CAC, or C, cost of acquiring a customer is usually called CAC, or customer acquisition cost, CAC. Oops, CAC typically is what it's referred to as. But your CAC, your cost of acquiring a customer, goes way down if you can sell to that same customer again. So this is why it's so important. Why you always see recurring revenue models, subscriptions. That's what people are always trying to push, right? So you're getting recurring revenue every month or every week, not just one time. It's way more efficient to keep a customer than find a new one. So here's a great example. We're selling our farm products, and this is not easy to do. Recurring revenue, we've offered subscriptions, we've offered bundle boxes, we've offered get this on subscribe and save 5% for many, many years, and it never took off. It was very rare that we get many orders. We were averaging, here's an example, we were averaging about 20 cents per active email subscriber per month. That's about what we would get per active email subscriber, about 20 cents of revenue per month. But once we started to figure out the recurring revenue model, and we did subscriptions the right way, figured out what people wanted and delivered it, we average now about $3 in revenue per email subscriber per month. And here's a screenshot of that. You can see all the orders here. This is for the month of June. Well, actually, this is just 5 days in June. All the orders we got. These are all recurring revenue subscriptions for our CSA box. Okay. So this works, and this is how you grow a profitable farm. So let's look at an example. So we talked about some of the numbers. Let's look at, the typical farmer is going to be in this left column, and versus our system. So a typical farmer is going to have, let's say they have 10,000 followers on social media, which is probably maybe a lot more than a lot of you already have. If 10% of them see their post and click on the post, we're assuming that they're doing posting the right way. They've got a story. It's very engaging. 10% of people see it, and 10% of people click it. So that's a tall order. I'm sorry, 10% of the people see the post. That should be see, not click. So it's 1,000 people. And let's say half of them actually click the link. So that's really, or I'm sorry, I misspoke. 10% of them see the post. That's 1,000 people see the post. Out of those 1,000 people, 5% of them click the link to the website. So 50 people click the website. Okay, go to the website. And these are same metrics on both examples here. So there's nothing wrong with getting traffic. We posted, we've got a good CTA. They clicked it and they visited our website. The only thing and the traditional farmer, maybe 0.5% of them buy. So that's a quarter of a sale for 10,000 followers. So you need to post 4 times with 1,000 people seeing it each time, and 5% of those clicking it to get one sale, just one sale. And if that's a $25 chicken, that's not a great, return. And because these people aren't on your email list and maybe aren't real familiar with what you do, other than seeing your occasional social media post, they may or may not ever buy from you again. And so your total revenue is $50 if you're selling a $50 product. Okay, those are about typical numbers there for a $50 product. On the flip side, in our system, let's keep the same metrics. 5% click that link, that call to action link, but instead of sending to a website, we send them to a sign-up form, and we collect 50 email addresses. 50 people click the link to go to our sign-up form. 40% of those 50 actually sign up. So we got 20 email addresses. We don't have any sales, but we got 20 new email addresses. Through our email marketing system and our welcome series, 10% of them buy within the next 12 months. So we got 2 purchases. Like, okay, that's cool. Um, but if we set them up on a subscription model where they're purchasing every month from us and it's $50 purchase each, that's $100 per month or $1,200 in recurring revenue, annual revenue that's recurring every month. So you can see while the numbers are so much better with this system, example B, than the typical farmer system. This is how you become much more successful farming. And this is how we set all this, and this is how we can set all this up for you. So here's my call to action, right? If you want us to set this all up for you, just click here. Here's a link. Go to go.regenerativesuccess.net/app, APP. It'll take you here, tell you all about our 10X farm marketing app, what it does and how we can set all this up for you. If that's something you're interested in, let me know or click the link to this app.